Yo, people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to Lion Talks Football, and welcome to another video. Now, I didn't expect to do a video today, but there is some breaking news that I'm going to be talking about today. But first things first, I want to wish all of you lot a very happy new year to everybody all over the world, from New Zealand all the way to Los Angeles. So, happy new year to all of you. Welcome to 2026, and may God bless you, keep you, and make his face shine upon you and give you peace which passes all understanding. And I wish you all a very healthy and a prosperous new year. So we made it to 2026, and I've got my New Year's resolutions. I hope you guys got one your as well. And as we, make it from January 1 to December 31st, I hope your New Year's resolutions and hope all your dreams come true this year in 2026. So happy New Year to all of you. Now, and because it's January the 1st, 2026, that means the January transfer window is officially open, and it was open here in the UK about 11 minutes ago, 11 hours ago, because we're nearly to 11 o'clock as we're recording this video right now. So, yeah, so officially opened 11 hours ago, and there is no place to talk about, but there is one manager that we need to talk about, and it's Enzo Maresca. And yesterday, things got way out of hand ever since that Bournemouth 2-2 draw on Tuesday night. And yeah, it looks like things could really, really be bad for Chelsea. And that's going to be talking about this video. So if you guys haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm seeing a few subscribers coming up a bit, so keep on subscribing, and hopefully I'll get to 1K as soon as possible. So make sure you guys are continuing to subscribe, like, share if you have, so that everyone else can join in as well. And if you got your thoughts and feelings on this, do let me know in the comments down below. So it's only January the 1st, and there's transfer news, and there's only one thing to talk about, and that is Enzo Maresca. So let's see what Matt Law said on Twitter earlier today. And he said this: I was meant to be off this week, but it's expected that Enzo Maresca will leave Chelsea today. No confirmation on club commitment comment yet. Happy New Year. So it hasn't been confirmed by the club, but it looks like it will happen. Now, if you guys remember, on the 27th of May 2024, that is where Enzo Maresca was signing for Chelsea. And I didn't like that. I really didn't. I didn't wait the manager. I said he's a championship manager, from Leicester City, and you know, he can be a good manager, but when it comes to December, until March, he dropped. Look what he did for Leicester City. Started off really well, 11 points clear, but then, form didn't look that good. And then they only managed to win the league by 1 point. And in that time, they lost 2-0 on the final day at home, to Blackburn, who was in a relegation zone, but, but survived if it wasn't for that win against Leicester City. You know what I mean? So he can be a good manager, but I feel like we need someone that is proven, that is elite, that knows how to win things. And I didn't think Enzo Maresca was the right choice. What I did say is that I wish him the best of luck. If he can if he can, make Chelsea finish in the top four and win us a trophy, then I'll apologize. I'll hold my hands up, and they said, you've done a good job, Maresca, so well done. So that's what I said. So we're going to the so we went into the preseason only having one win, and that was against Club America. We drew against Wrexham, we lost 4-1 to Celtic, we lost to Man City, we lost to Real Madrid. Like, the preseason didn't look so good until Enzo Maresca. And then the first game for Enzo Maresca in 2024 in the Premier League was at home to Man City, and and he was the former assistant coach for Pep Guardiola, so that game ended a 2-0 loss, and it didn't have a great start. But then after that, we faced Wolves and we managed to beat them 6-2, at their place, and then things looking good for Chelsea. And then, from from September until October, we had a good results here and there, a few wins, a few draws, a few losses, and then but it's the first season, so I'm gonna give him time. But then November up until the Everton game, that's where results started looking really good. We won every single game in the Premier League. We was in second place, and people thought that was in the title race. And when people asked me, I said no because I know Chelsea where they were, if they are in the title race or not. So, but guess what? We went into the Christmas season, finishing in second. You know what I mean? And there was that time where we faced Everton away from home. And if we would have won that game, would have been top of the league by Christmas. And everyone would have still asked me if I was in the title race. And I would have said no, because I still don't believe we have the squad that can take us to the next level. So we went away to Everton, and then we drew 0-0. And that was a blip. That was a blip. That was the first time we dropped points ever since the won, I believe, 6 or 7 games in a row or something like that. You know what I mean? So that was just a blip. But then our next game on Boxing Day was against Fulham at home. And then I said, if we win that game, then hopefully that Everton game will be a blip. But then we didn't. We lost 2-1 at home to Leicester City. And then we went away to Ipswich and we lost, and then we went to Crystal Palace, we drew, and we went to Man City, we lost. So the results from December all the way to March wasn't that great at all for Chelsea. And then I was so concerned, but I didn't. But it's not Enzo Maresca out because he was a good manager. And at that time, I understand why people wanted Enzo Maresca out, but I said, listen, it's his first season. We still have a good chance of finishing the top four, and so let's just see what happens. So then we move on into April, where Chelsea lost to Arsenal, drew to Ipswich 2-2 at home. And then it looks like, things for the top four is looking unlikely. But then ever since we beat Fulham, our one was really good. Really good. We beat Fulham, we beat Liverpool, we beat Manchester United, we beat Tottenham as well. And on the final day, we faced Nottingham Forest away from home, which is a very difficult place to go to, and we won 1-0. And that win took Chelsea in fourth place because Newcastle got in fifth place, but they were in the Champions League because top five get you in the Champions League last season, even though they lost to Everton. And Villa, lost 2-0 away from home to Old Trafford. You know what I mean? So that put Chelsea in the top four, and I was very happy because it was the first time under this ownership that was in the Champions League. You know what I mean? That was the first time. So Enzo Maresca got his top four, so I was like, good. But can he win us a trophy after that? We shall wait and see. And then a few days later, we went all the way to Poland in Warsaw, in the Conference League final, and we beat World Beaters by 4-1. I was happy, but I didn't celebrate that much because the Conference League should not be on level. It really shouldn't. And if you guys remember, yeah, the only reason why we're going to the Conference League is because Man United beat Man City in the FA Cup final. Had it not been for that, we would have been the Europa League because we were in sixth place. We were in sixth place. So if Manchester City would have won, we would have been the Europa League. Now, would Chelsea could have won the Europa League final? Maybe or maybe not. I don't know, but we managed to win the Conference League, and things look good for Chelsea. And so there we was, Chelsea lifting that Conference League, and yeah, all of us Chelsea fans were singing, "We won it all," and that's actually true because we won the Champions League, we won the Europa League and the Conference League, and we are the first club to do that. You know what I mean? Now, many people are laughing that Chelsea won the Conference League, but we were meant to win it. If you're in that competition, you are in it to win it. Whether if in the Champions League or the Europa League or the Carabao Cup, if you're in the final, you got to be winning it, and that's what we did. So all of us Chelsea fans were singing and celebrating that we won it all, cool. And then we go into the summer period, last year because we're in 2026 now, and we was in the FIFA Club World Cup, and I don't think anybody, including myself, would have predicted Chelsea to win the Club World Cup. But But in our first game, we faced LAFC, and Olivier Giroud was there, and he was a former Chelsea player. We managed to beat them. I don't know the results, but we won that game. Then we faced Flamengo, and we've lost that game by 3 goals to 1. And Nicholas Jackson got another red card, which he did in the Newcastle game. And then we beat I forgot who else we beat. Um, in the third game of the group stages, but we won that game and we managed to make it through to knockout phases. So happy days. And then in the round of 16, we faced Benfica and we were 1-0 up. And then if you guys remember that the reason why there was so many why there was delays because of the thunderstorm that was coming in America. I forgot the place, but there was a thunderstorm and we had to wait so many hours. And then I was about to record a video saying that we've won, but then the game was back, and then Benfica scored, and I was like, let me just go back to my live stream because I couldn't believe it. And at that time, I was so angry at FIFA. I was so angry because why do you put that game in that place? You could have moved to a different place or just cancel it. You know what I mean? But yeah, 1-1. But then Benfica got a red card, and we managed to win that game by 4 goals to 1. And every time we beat Benfica, we managed to win trophies. So there we go. So that was 4-1. I think we faced. I forgot to face in the quarterfinal. I know, but the Palmeiras one is the semi final. I forgot to face in the quarterfinal. So there we go. But we faced Palmeiras in the semi-final. We managed to beat them 2-1. And SFL, who we signed, who is a Chelsea player, was playing Palmeiras at that time and even scored against Chelsea. And it was a really good goal. And that goal against Barcelona was similar to the one against us in the Club World Cup. But yeah, we managed to win that game 2-1. And that's where SFL, was signing for Chelsea after that game. So there we go. So yeah, that was 2-1. And then we faced PSG, who were the champions of Europe. And at that time, I was feeling a bit nervous. I was thinking, can Chelsea beat PSG? I think so, but it's going to be a very tough game. I predicted 2-1, but people, we were 3-0 up at half time, 3-0 up, and it could have been more. I remember Liam Delap could have scored 2 goals. Cole Palmer's could have scored a hat trick. We could have easily destroyed PSG, but we beat them 3-0, kept a clean sheet, and Robert Sanchez got the Golden Glove and made some mad saves. Mad saves. So yeah, 3-0 to Chelsea against PSG, and you managed to lift the Club World Cup, and that golden badge will be on shirt for the next 4 years. Well, 3 years now because we're in 2026. So yeah, so the next 3 years, that gold badge will be on our shirt. And I was making a massive apology to Enzo Maresca. I didn't think he'll be the manager that can, get us into the top four and win us a trophy. But I did say if he could do that, then fair play. So at that time, I apologized. I gave him praise, and I said, Enzo Maresca, you proved me wrong. You done a good job. Well done. Well done. So we won the Club World Cup. So happy days for that one. And then after that, we had a few days of rest before we faced Leverkusen and AC Milan, and we managed to beat them and beat them both teams. So it was a really good game. And then we move on into Crystal Palace because that was our first game of the season at home to Crystal Palace. We drew to them 0-0, and then we went away to West Ham, and we beat them by 5 goals to 1 after being 1-0 down. And then we faced Fulham, who we beat 2-0. The first 4 games of the Premier League this season, we had 4 London Derby games. 4. You know what I mean? So we stayed in London, after the Brentford, from Crystal Palace to Brentford, and then we made our first away trip outside of London to Manchester, and we lost 2-1 to Manchester United at Old Trafford. So that was a really bad game. And then we had a few decent results here and there, beating who do we beat? The likes of Liverpool, the likes of Forest away, 3-0. I had the good results here and there. But then we move on into December. December and we've only had one win in the Premier League, and that was Everton. Lost to Leeds, lost to Bournemouth. So he drew to Bournemouth, lost to Villa, drew to Newcastle, and drew to Bournemouth. one win in 7 in the Premier League, 2 wins in 9 in all competitions in December, you know. And that is why when people still keep asking me, are you in the title race? I said no. Because when it comes to December onwards, we always seem to fall down. And this is where I feel sorry for Enzo Maresca because he's not only the manager that have experienced this. Frank Lampard, Thomas Tuchel, who else? Enzo Maresca last season. Antonio Conte, 2017 to 18 season. When it comes to the festive period, Chelsea always seems to fall down. And that is why December is a curse for Chelsea. It's a bad Christmas. People used to call it White Christmas. But when it comes to Chelsea, it's a bad Christmas. Bad Christmas, and now we got Man City away, and like you saw in the tweet, it looks like he's not gonna be the manager for that game. So Chelsea have got 3 days to pick up a manager. They've got 3 days now. Enzo Maresca can be held accountable. He really can, because the only game where I look like where I look at Enzo Maresca and I'm thinking this your worst management game since you came in was the Atalanta game, because he put Gusto in the 10, put Chalobah right back, and put Reece James in the midfield. And in the second half, it completely fell apart. Fell apart. You know what I mean? So that's the only game where I look at Enzo Wesker and I'm saying to you, hang your head in shame. There's other games as well. If you look at the Leeds game, tossing um, alongside Bader Shield and then putting Chalobah right back make no sense. It make no sense. Then you look at the game against Man United, went down to 10 men. Robert Sanchez took off all of our wingers and only allowed João Pedro to be there all by himself, which makes no sense. You look at the Brighton game, the same thing. You look at the what you call it, the Villa game where he took off Cole Palmer, put Santos in the 10, and then Kukuwe went off and put Gusto as left back. So that one makes sense because Kukuwe didn't feature for the game against what you call it, Bournemouth. But then you couldn't put Haito in that left back position rather than Gusto. So that one didn't make any sense. It really didn't. So for me, Enzo Wesker can be stubborn and can make mistakes. You know what I mean? But the reason why I think sacking Enzo Maresca is not going to help Chelsea is because in big games, he can outclass people. Look at the PSG game. Look at Liverpool game. When it comes to big games, Barcelona as well. And look at the Arsenal game. Even though we went down to 10 men, we didn't lose. Now, I wasn't the fans that was celebrating a win. I didn't. I wasn't the fans that was happy that we drew against Arsenal. I was disappointed. Disappointed because we drew to Arsenal. We haven't beaten Arsenal for a long time. Long time we haven't beaten Arsenal. But we didn't lose. I was happy for the team. That was it. That was it. But wasn't happy for the result. You know what I mean? And now, ever since that Barcelona game, 1 win in 7 in the Premier League, 7 points out of 21. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke, you know. But this is why I feel sorry for Enzo and Wesker, because if you guys watched the press conference in the game against Crystal Palace, he wanted a centre back, a really good centre back, because Levi Colwill got an ACL. I think it was the day before the press conference. I can't remember. But Levi Colwill got an ACL. Badishil was injured. Wayne Fowler was injured. We needed a centre back. But what did the sport director say? We've got Tosin. We've got Chalobah. Internal solutions, Internal solutions, people, is what I've heard. And it didn't make any sense. He clearly wanted a centre back, and we didn't back him. And I said to you lot, yeah, that if we do not back Enzo Maresca, and if results don't go our way, he's going to probably leave Chelsea this season. And I didn't expect this to be in January, the first, but I didn't. But I did say that he will probably leave this season. Now I don't know if that's going to happen today but it's expected. So there's a 50, it's like 50-50. There's a 50% chance it could happen, but there's a 50% chance that it wouldn't happen. So we have to wait and see. We're gonna have to wait and see. But it's just getting to the point where the sport directors are the main issue. And I said this on the football terrace. They all have to go because if Enzo Maresca is expected to leave Chelsea today, then the sport directors have to do the same thing. Paul Winstanley, Lloyd Stewart, Ed Barney, Claire Lake, Joe Shields, they all have to leave. They all have to leave because we have spent £1.2 billion and only 3 signings or 4 have been a hit ever since they signed. Caicedo, Cole Palmer, and Esteval. That is it. That is it. Many people say Kukurea, James, and all that stuff, but but James came from our academy, and Kukurea, actually, no, Kukurea has been a good signing as well. So yeah, 4 players, at least 4, have been a hit this season, have been a hit. But for the rest of them, they've all been a miss. All of them. Even the ones that we signed and decided to leave, they've all been a miss because I haven't been playing a lot of games. João Felix, Veiga, that's a funniest example. Like, it's just getting to a point where Choice Football Club is in a mess. It's in a mess. And nothing will change until the sport directors leave the club. Because Enzo Maresca is not the issue. Yes, he can be accountable, but he's not the issue. He clearly didn't get backed. He didn't. Now, let's say that we signed the likes of Victor Osimhen, Mike Mayan, who else? Another midfielder like Mark Guehi. Let's say we signed those players and Enzo Maresca didn't get the best out of them. Yeah, then maybe I would say Enzo Maresca's got to go because these are good players and he's not getting the best out of them. you know. But I'm sorry, he has not been backed enough for me to be saying Enzo Maresca should be sacked. He hasn't been backed, and it's just getting to a point where like who do we get next? Because the only one that I feel we're gonna get is Liam Senior, and he's a Strasbourg manager. That's the only one because we're partner with them. If you guys remember, now I don't know much about him. I don't know if he's good a manager or not. I haven't been watching Strasbourg this season, so I really don't know. I really don't know who's going to be a good manager. All I know is that if we get him in, and let's say he's been like Enzo Maresca, then he needs to be backed. But I don't know if sacking Enzo Maresca and bringing Liam Senior is going to make things better. For me, yeah, what we need to do in the January transfer window is we need to sign experienced players. Because for me, yeah, we need a centre back. We need a proper left winger and maybe another midfielder and a proper striker because Liam Delap has not been that good. Both Garnacho and Gittins have been rubbish. All of us, the centre backs this season, apart from Fofana and Chalobah, they've all been bad. In terms of the goalkeeper, I'll give Robert Sanchez some time because this season he's improved a lot this season. So Robert Sanchez, if he can keep this up, then that'll be good. But now I'm starting to worry because if Enzo Maresca leaves today, then it looks like we're probably gonna get Robert Sanchez of last season. Because this season, I don't know what has happened to him, but he's improved. And he's still one clean sheet behind David Dwyer. You know what I mean? So I'm worried what Robert Sanchez is going to get. If he's going to be the Sanchez of this season or last season, if Enzo Maresca is leaving today or expected to leave today. Like, it's just getting to a point where Choice Football Club, we're not the Choice Football Club anymore. We're not a serious club. We are a joke, we are a disgrace, and we're a laughing stock. And no one take Chelsea seriously. Like, I don't know what to say anymore, people, but that's my thoughts on it. Like, I'm Enzo Maresca. Like, if you are leaving today, then thank you for all the memories. Thank you for what you've done for Chelsea. And if you do go to Man City, I wish you the best of luck because I don't know if Enzo Maresca is going to put City in the title race because the fans expect Man City to be in the title race and let alone win it. And if Enzo Maresca doesn't do that, then then the fans are gonna also turn on him, and he's probably gonna get sacked by Man City. You know what I mean? So, people, I like I said, I didn't expect this to happen, because it's during the first, and I'm supposed to be, doing press and all that stuff. But I just saw this news and I had to do this video because I'm just worried now. I'm worried what was going to happen to Chelsea and where we go next. I really don't know. But people, if you guys got your thoughts and feelings on this, do let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, so there's no plans to talk about, but there is one manager, and that's Enzo Maresca. And after that, when the fans was booing when Cole Palmer took off, that really affected Ekbali because he just saw and heard this and he said, you know what? I think it's time. I think we need to make a choice here. We do need to make a choice. And don't forget, people, after that 2-0 win against Everton, Enzo Maresca said in his press conference, the last 48 hours have been the worst of my life. And at that time, I was thinking, is he talking about the fans, himself, or the owners? But he didn't talk about the fans. He didn't talk about himself. But it looks like he's talking about the owners, and it looks like that's the case here because Burnley is not happy at Enzo Maresca, and it looks like things could and it looks like things could turn ugly later today. When he found out with the rule breaking news. So, like I said, people, it could happen today or it may not. But I've heard the news is that Enzo Maresca will not be available for the Man City game because because after the Bournemouth game, we all thought that Enzo Maresca was sick, but it looks like that's not the case. So he did lie. He did lie. So Enzo Maresca, like I understand, like it's all on you, for lying to the media. But, but I feel sorry for you, mate. You don't deserve this. You don't, because, like I said, if Enzo Maresca, you know, didn't get the best out of, let's say, like Victor Osimhen and Matt Mayan, and results continue like this, then yes, I want him sacked. But he didn't back. He didn't get a backing. He clearly wanted a centre back, and we didn't back him. So it's not his fault, and it's not the main problem. It is sport directors. So, like I said, if Enzo Maresca is expected to leave today, then sport directors should be, joining him. Paul Winstanley, Lloyd Stewart, Clearlake, Ekbali, Joe Shields, they all need to follow him and walk out of the football club because they have caused this mess. They've caused this. It's not me. It's not you lot that are watching. It's not all the chosen fans in the world. It's them. It's always them. And it's just getting to a point where I don't know what we do next, people, but we shall see what happens. But people, like I said, Happy New Year. It's been a crazy start to the new year in terms of Chelsea Football Club, and we'll see what happens over the next 3 years. But we got Man City next, so there will be content on that. And tomorrow there will be predictions because there's Premier League games today. So we've got and the games today are Crystal Palace versus Fulham, Liverpool Leeds United, both games kicking off at 5:30, and then 8 o'clock games is Brentford Tottenham Hotspur and Sunderland versus Manchester City. So those are the games I will be watching, and we'll see what happens. But people, make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification to so I never miss any of my content. And yeah, Happy New Year, first call of the year. Didn't expect to do this today, but I have to. I will see what happens over the next few days. So yeah, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And as always, up the Chels. Come on, you blues.